everyone. Today we're going to be having a look at how to make a car spawning system. So to start out with, we want to put a folder inside of Workspace. We're going to call this cars, and this is where all of our spawned cars are going to go. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to put a model, or a part inside of the Workspace and stretch out. And this is going to be one of our spawn pads. Okay. So what we need to do is if we do Control and G, that'll then put it in a model, and then I'm going to call this spawn pads, and then I'm going to rename this to pad 1. Inside of this I'm going to put a boolean value, and I'm going to call this value being touched, and then I'm going to put a script inside of here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to toggle this bool value to whether this is being touched, i.e. if something is on top of it or not. So make sure it's anchored, can collide is turned off. I'm just going to set transparency to 0.5 and lift it up slightly off the base plate so it's not hitting down there. So if we do script.parent.touched connect function, okay, and then we can say script.parent.beingTouched.value equals true, and then we'll do script.parent.touch ended connect function script.parent.beingTouched.value equals false. Okay, and now that will toggle. So say if we want to have a total of 8 pads, we're going to have pad 1, pad 2, pad 3, pad 4, and then the other 4. And then we'll rename all these. So we have our pad 2, pad 3, pad 4, pad 5, pad 6, pad 7, and pad 8. And you can add as many pads as you want. Okay. So next of all, we are going to add, I'm just going to lift these back up off the ground just a little bit. Next of all, we are going to, let's put some server scripts in. And then I'm going to start out by, we'll put a folder inside of server storage, and this is where we're going to keep our cars. And then if we define those as variables, so if we do game.server-storage, not script context, server storage dot cars, and then local spawned cars equals game.workspace.cars. Okay, so first function I want to write is a function that finds a spawn pad for us to spawn our car. So if we call this find spawn location, okay, and then we can say local pad equals nil while pad equals nil do for I, v in pairs game.workspace.spawnPads get children do if v.beingTouched.value equals false, then pad equals v.name return pad. So what we're going to do here is we are defining a variable called pad and setting that to nil, and then we're saying while pad is equal to nil, so it's going to run this code continuously until we find a pad that is not being touched, and then it's going to return the pad that it has found. Okay, so the next function is delete car, and this function is, well, it's just going to delete the car that if a player has one spawned. So we're going to do if game.workspace.cars find first child's plr.user ID, because we are going to call all of our cars, their car models, by the owner's ID. Then we can say game.workspace.cars, then we do square brackets so we can go straight to here, destroy. Just like that, okay? So if we do a game.players.player remove, not player added, player removing event, and then connect that to delete car, then it will delete the player's car when they leave. Then we can do game.replicated storage dot should we put yeah, we'll do this first. If we put a folder inside of here, and then we'll do remote event, do 2 remote events. We'll do events, we'll call the folder events, and then we'll call one of the events delete car, and then another one of the events spawn car. So game.replicate storage.events.delete car :connect. Delete car.onServer event connect delete car. Okay. Next thing we can do is we can say game.replicate storage.events.spawn car.onServer event connect function. Then we're going to pass 2 arguments like that, and then what we'll do is we will delete car to delete the player's car if they already have one spawned. Then we'll do local spawn location equals game.workspace.spawn pads, and we can find our spawn pad dot position. So that's going to be our spawn location, and then our local car equals cars folder find first child car. So we're going to try and find the car that gets passed, because we're going to pass a string value, not an instance. Then we're going to say if car exists, then local car clone equals car :clone. Then car clone dot name equals plr.user id. Car clone dot parent equals game.workspace.cars. Car clone :move to spawn location. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do wait 2. Then we're going to do car clone dot drive seat :sit plr dot character dot humanoid. So what this is doing is whenever we fire this event, it's going to pick up the player that fired and also the car. Then we're going to find our spawn location, then we're going to find the car, then we're going to say if the car exists, then it's going to clone the car, set the name to the player's user ID, set the parent to the cars folder, and then move it to the spawn pad. Then it's going to wait 2 and then put the player in the driver's seat. Okay, and then we can say else warn car couldn't be found. Okay, so next thing we need to do is let's go to our GUI and we will create ourselves a little GUI. So if we do put a screen GUI inside a starter GUI and we put a frame, I'm going to use this plugin here to convert them both to scale. Okay, I'll leave a link to this plugin in the video description if you want to install it. Then I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. We'll go with that. Then I'm going to set the transparency 0.5, color to black. Okay. Then I'm going to get ourselves a text button, set that to scale as well. Put this in the top right. Text to X, scales, black, top right, background color 1. It's transparent. There we go. We've got a little close button. So I'm going to rename this to close button, and put a local script. So we can say script.parent.mouse click connect function script.parent.parent.visible equals false. Okay, so that's our little close button done. So now we can put an image button inside of here. and this will allow us to basically players to click the button and then their car gets spawned. So I'm going to put a UI aspect ratio, so if you look here, when it gets changed, it doesn't change its aspect. Okay, so say if we want to do, let's do 2 cars for this example, so have car 1 and car 2, and then I'm going to pull across 2 of my cars from my game. We're going to pull across these 2 cars just here. So these are 2 cars from my game. So if we put these cars inside of the server storage, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a script, a local script inside of here, which will basically call our spawn car event whenever they're clicked. So we can say script.parent.mousebutton1 click connect function, and then game.replicated.storage.events.spawnCar : fire server script.parent.name, and then script.parent.parent.visible equals false. Okay, then what that means is we can just dump this exact same script into every single one, and then all we need to do is call this the image label, whatever the name of the car is, the exact same as what it is inside of server storage. Okay then, so once you've done that, you should be able to test it and see if it works. We'll see if we'll open up the output to see if we've got any errors, which we have not. So now if I click on this one, you can see my car spawned over there, and here we go. Obviously you can make the transparency of these equal to 1 so that doesn't happen. So if I open that back up, this little screen GUI here, and I click on the other one, you can see this here spawns in. Okay, so let's just back out of this, and then we'll make this not visible again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the name of this screen GUI to car spawn. Okay, and then we can put a part down over here, or you can put this wherever you want. We'll put a proximity prompt on it and a script, and then we'll set the action text to this to spawn car, and then the object test to press E. Okay, then we'll do script.parent.triggered connection function. Okay, and then we'll put player inside of our argument, then we'll put plr dot player GUI dot car spawn dot frame dot visible equals false, and then we're going to set it to true. And the reason we do this is because we edit it with a local script down here, and that doesn't edit for the server, so we have to do it like this. Okay, so now if we try it, and if you see here, I can either click it or I can press E, and then we can spawn our car. If you want to add more cars to this very simple system, all that you need to do is duplicate this right here and edit the name of this to the name of your car, and then put your car inside of here. Okay, hope you've enjoyed this simple tutorial on how to make a car spawner. If you want the source code, there's a link to my Discord server in the video description, and I'll see you in the next video.